Hey everyone, welcome to your 30-day yoga challenge. Today is day 6 and we're going to get grounded. Go ahead and lie down on your back. All right, so now that you're lying on your back, let's bend both of our knees and place the feet on the floor. The feet are around hips width apart. And once they're flat, you can take a moment and just let the knees knock together. Let's close our eyes and full breath in through the nose. And then exhale completely. Hold your breath out at the bottom. Again, breathe in. Very slowly exhale. Same idea, hold at the end of breath. And let's do that one more time, full breath in. You can open the mouth, exhale. Breathe out all the air from the lungs. And same thing, hold, take pause. And you're going to open the eyes, inhale deep. And then exhale, bring the knees to hips width apart. You're going to take the right shin, draw it into the chest, and your hands on the shin bone, pulling that thigh in towards the belly. And then release the shin. We're going to bring the right ankle on top of our left thigh. So the ankle is closer towards the knee. It's still on the thigh, but it's closer towards the knee, so the bottom part of the thigh. We're going to reach the right arm in between the legs and grab either the front of the shin bone or the back of the thigh bone. Just as long as you can maintain a rooting through your shoulders. And then begin to gently pull with your hands, the left leg towards you. But see if you can press very lightly your right ankle against the left thigh. So this particular shape, if we want to call it a shape, this figure 4 is something we'll return to a number of times today. So just take note of this feeling here, right outer right ankle pressing into the left thigh. One more breath. Release the hands and set your left heel flat onto the floor. And then take your right shin bone in towards the chest once again. And then with your right hand, grab the outside of your right foot for a half happy baby pose. So the knee is slightly towards the right, and then we're going to exhale and pull our thigh down. So just feel like your right thigh is pressing to the side of your rib cage as though you could touch the floor. There may be a few of you who are able to connect the knee towards the ground. It's really no worries if you can't, I'm not. And then staying as you are. If you have the space within your body, you might straighten the left leg towards your mat. Just making sure that as you do so, you are able to stay stable. And then we'll do that for one breath more. Now I want you to let go of the right hand and cross the right leg around the left leg, or stack the right thigh on the left thigh. Lift both of your feet. And then we're going to lower our legs over to our left. And then reach the right arm out towards the side. And then chin towards your right shoulder. You're going to inhale and exhale. Okay. Do come back to center with your legs. Unwrap the legs. Reach your feet high into the air. And then bend your knees, feet on the floor. Feet hips distance apart. Left shin bone pulls in, or hands on the left shin bone, thigh into the stomach. And gently squeeze. And then let go as you bring your left ankle to the right thigh. Reach the left arm in between the legs and you grab either your right hamstrings or the shin bone. Going for the shin bone is a little bit deeper. And then lower your head back to the floor, breathe in. And as you exhale, gently pull. Okay, so the right thigh, as it is being pulled towards you, it creates a bit of resistance against your left ankle, which may result, or try to see where you feel some sensation, some sort of response. Press the outer left ankle into the right thigh. And even think of the lower part of your spine unraveling and pressing down into the floor. And stay here for another breath. We're going to release our hands, place the right heel flat. Take a moment and have that left shin bone once again drawing in. And then we're going to take our left hand outside of the left foot. Okay, your arm is just on the inside of the knee. And then half of Happy Baby Pose, or Ardha Ananda Balasana. And you're pulling in and you're drawing down. So your right arm, in this case, I'm having my right arm resting on the floor next to me. I could have it resting on the thigh or even on the belly. And if you had straightened the leg before, do that now, grounding through your inner right thigh, or you just keep your right foot flat for the most stability of your pelvis. One breath more. All right, so we're going to release the foot and slide the left thigh on top of the right. Lift your feet up and then lower both thighs to the right side, opening the chest through the reach of your left arm. And as you gaze towards your wrist or your thumb, allow the palm to face up. So bringing a slight rotation outwards of your left arm bone. Inhale into the left side of the chest. And exhale. Come back to center with your legs. Unwrap them and stretch the feet high into the air. Inhale. And then exhale, both of your feet flat. Okay? Soles of the feet together. Bring the knees away from each other as we come to a reclined bound angle pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana. Feel opening through the inner part of your legs. And as you exhale, let the outer thighs soften. Or rather, let the outer thighs melt in towards the floor. Okay, we're going to bring both of the knees towards us. Lift the head and grab the outsides of the feet for full Happy Baby Pose, full Ananda Balasana. Press down. Now I imagine there's going to be a few of you whose lower back or even the sacrum is lifting from the mat. And just see if you can energetically press down. And even through the back of your shoulders, can you draw into the floor? And then as your hands are pulling along the feet, allow the outer feet to resist into the fingers and notice where you feel some reaction. Notice where in your body, especially around the hips, there's sensation. We're going to slide our hands to the backs of the knees, reaching our feet up into the air, and then rock ourselves all the way up and towards a seated position. So have your feet flat onto the floor and bring your hands behind your back. So hands are roughly shoulders distance apart. Straighten the elbows and lift the chest. And then cross your legs. Okay, with your hands in front of you, let's step back into downward facing dog. Okay, breathing in. And pressing back firmly through your thighs, breathing out. Lift your right leg high into the sky. So stretching that right leg up. And then bend your right knee. Okay, for a moment, keep the inner thighs squeezing. Lift your right thigh bone higher. And then begin rotating your right hip like you want the front of the thigh to face the right side, perhaps even turning a bit more upwards into the air. And then notice how your right knee is bent. Okay, stay connected with it and bring the shin bone all the way forward towards your hands. Softly placing that shin bone onto the floor. Lift the chest. So here in this pigeon pose, if you feel like it's, let's say you feel a bit of a pull on that front knee, you can take the foot and draw it in a little bit more. You can even bring your knee a bit more towards the center part of the mat. Otherwise, really allow your thigh to move away from center, so abduct the hip, and then you can even slide your left knee back as we come down onto our elbows. Okay, if this is quite intense for you, stay on your hands, and perhaps there's a few of you who will go a bit even wider with your elbows so that your head can touch down. Now inhaling here, And as you exhale, gently press down through your outer shin bone. Okay, really feeling the outer part of your right shin pressing against the floor. There may be a contraction through the outer thigh, the outer hip. See if you can connect with that. And then intentionally squeeze the inner right hip to the left side. We're going to walk our hands towards us, lifting through our chest. And when you go into downward dog, I'd like for you to take this front leg, the right ankle, and stack it above the left shin. Okay, press firmly through your hands and feel that the outer ankle lightly connects with the left thigh. And then right knee moving in towards the nose. We're going to look towards the hands and place the right foot forward. Come to the tips of the fingers and then gaze out in front of you. Inhale. And then with your exhalation, take that back heel and turn it more towards the right side of the mat. So you have an angle of about 9 o'clock. Okay, just a rough estimate. Press firmly down through your front heel. Let's use our right hand. Place it just on the outer part of your right hip and press to the center line of your mat. Hold strong in your legs and then come in towards warrior two. Your left arm is reaching back and the right arm is stretching forward. Gaze towards the front hand. And as we exhale, we're going to bend deeper so our right thigh comes lower. Can you lengthen the tailbone slightly down? Now hold here for another couple of moments, a couple of breaths, lifting through the crown of the head. Spine stays vertical and long. All right, place both of your hands down and step into downward dog. Exhale. And then inhale, lift your left leg up, allowing that left leg to rise. Start with the knee bending with the hips for the moment mostly leveled and squared. And then begin to rotate through the thigh. Okay, so think of the thigh facing more to the left, maybe some of you higher into the air, and then bring that knee, which is bent, forward so that the shin looks close to the wrists. Softly placing it down. Remember a couple of adjustments. If you feel a bit of tightness in the knee, move it more to the center or pull your foot closer to the hip. And for those of you who are able, you're going to slide your right knee back. Stay on your hands or lower down into the forearms or even taking the elbows a bit wider. And then don't stop there. Taking an inhale, and through the exhalation, the outer left knee towards the outer left ankle pressed down. Doesn't have to be too strong. Just imagine that the shin bone is connecting with the mat underneath it. And see if you can feel the outer part of the thigh, maybe a little bit in your outer hip. It starts to engage, starts to contract a bit more. And then the inner parts of your legs, squeeze them together, super light. We're going to lift our head, set our hands flat, and remember that although downward dog is next, we're moving into a variation where the left ankle stacks above our right knee. And then you can gaze towards the legs and feel like the outer ankle is pressing lightly into the thigh, and really think of the outer thigh, outer left thigh in this case, pressing to the wall space behind you. And then draw the knee in towards your nose. Look forward to the space of your hands and step forward. Come to the fingertips, lift the chin, open the chest, and then with that back heel, spin it towards the left side. So if you look at your right foot and it's on a clock, okay, not a digital one, obviously, but it's sort of between 2 and 3. You can say closer to 3 o'clock. With your left hand, place it lightly on your outer hip, and then think this hand is pushing the hip just a bit more towards the center part of the mat. Now keep the hip firm. We're going to stretch our arms or come up and windmill the arms so that your right arm is to the back wall, your left arm is to the front, and you look over the front of your mat. So we call this pose Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Really the first time we're doing this in our challenge, I want you to connect with the feet pressing downwards. The outer back foot pressing into the mat, Left heel, right heel rooting down, still finding length through your tailbone into the mat. Bring your hands forward and down. We'll come to downward facing dog. Take an exhalation. And breathe in. And breathe out. Stay as you are, inhale. And exhale. Come onto your knees. Separate the mat width, big toes together. Child's pose. Stay there. Slide your hands to the front of the knees. Push into the mat, lift the chest, and then sit with both legs forward. Okay, we're gonna take about 1 or 2 more minutes before we wrap up the class. With the left leg staying straight, we'll bring the right sole of the foot against the thigh. Okay, for some of you, if it's possible to have the heel fairly close to the groins, do so. Otherwise, you just keep it a bit more forward. Now, if the right thigh, shall I change the orientation for you all? Now, if the inner right, not the inner right thigh, but rather if the outer thigh is lifting, okay, it's okay that it's doing so. Just make sure you're pressing down through the buttock bones, or if you have a block or a cushion nearby, just wedge it underneath the leg. Lift the spine tall, inhale, and then exhale, reach for your left foot. Lengthening through the sides of the body, and then bending the elbows as your breastbone reaches forward. Now focus on the bent knee, the right leg, and see if you can lightly push your outer thigh down, whether that's into the cushion, the block, or the floor, and then lift the chest. Releasing the foot, bring your right leg straight, the sole of your left foot against the inner right thigh. Where it ends up will really depend on a number of things, but it's going to depend really on your body. Turning a little bit towards your right foot, let's reach our arms into the air. Inhale and exhale, fold over the leg, grabbing the foot with the hands. Lengthening through the spine. So really imagine that really your breastbone is drawing up. Exhale, bend your elbows and take that breastbone and imagine it's moving towards the shin, even towards the top of the ankle or the top of the foot, and still lightly, so it doesn't have to be so aggressive, but press the outer left thigh into the floor. And let's stay here for another exhale. And then release the hands, lift the chest, and then cross through both of your legs. Letting your arms rest anywhere that is comfortable on your body, on your legs, and then sitting up tall. Connecting with the grounding qualities of your practice today. Knowing that this practice is always available to you when it is a sense of grounding that you need. Join both of your hands together in prayer. In recognition of this practice for helping us to ground so that we're able to approach the rest of the day with clarity. Thank you all for joining me again here on your 30-day challenge. Today is day 6, grounding. I'll see you tomorrow.